The outrage for Mario Kart World is ready to be quelled. Nintendo did an entire direct focused on this game and all of its features that they are excited about. So why is Mario Kart World $80 US, a $20 jump from Nintendo's previous prices, and a $10 jump above the rest of the industry right now? Well, here it is, right there. You guys see it? You see that right there? Yeah. That's you can jump now. That's enough, right? That's worth $10. Listen, guys, I absolutely love Nintendo. I grew up with them with the Game Boy Advance SP and the Nintendo Wii. They brought me back into gaming with the Nintendo Switch and Breath of the Wild, which was a masterpiece and an awakening to me after having not played games for 3 years before that. But if you don't know, Nintendo revealed virtually nothing in their specified Mario Kart World Direct. The entire Direct here was filled with people spamming drop the price. Drop the price, drop the price, drop the price, drop the price. Please drop the price, drop the price, drop the prices. People are upset, so I wanted to dive into the game, take a look at all of the features that it offers, and maybe dive into that controversy of the $80 price point. But most importantly, I want to know what you guys think, so drop your comments down below. I'll reply to every single one. Let's talk about what the game actually is. There are a ton of similarities between Mario Kart World and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I mean, after all, it is a sequel, a continuation of the series. But the biggest difference now is that it is open world, which is huge. Not just the world, but just the fact that the game is open world is a pretty big change. Honestly, the strangest thing about Mario Kart World for me is that they got me excited for it. I don't normally like racing games, but this one has got me interested, which is something I did not anticipate. But let's talk some specifics. First off, we got the charge jump. You can now charge up your jump using a drift, which lets you vault over obstacles, grind on rails, and even land on walls and ride on them for a short period of time. I think this is a pretty cool new feature, especially with the open world aspects, and I know people love trying to find shortcuts in these games, so this is going to allow a lot of shortcuts as well. The game brings back classic modes like Grand Prix, but with a twist. Instead of loading screens or hard stops between tracks, you'll keep driving seamlessly from one course to the next. There's also a versus race where you can set custom rules and compete on teams, and time trials where you race against the clock or download ghost data from other players to compete against them. The new Knockout Tour mode, though, adds some drama and suspense. Here, slow players will be eliminated from the race as it progresses from one corner of the map to the other. There is a rewind feature which lets you rewind time and fix any mistakes you may have made, but there is also a disclaimer on the screen that says this is for free roam and solo, so I'm not actually sure if it's going to work in multiplayer at all. Either way, it'll probably be pretty cool for practicing tough tracks or trying to get coins that are hard to get. But then there is the free roam. This is the part of the game that I am most excited about. It's the part of the game that got me interested. As somebody who doesn't love racers, I do like exploring and open worlds and puzzles and stuff. In this mode, you and your friends can explore open environments. My only concern is that the world will be empty. The Direct did mention that there will be hundreds of P-switches around that will activate blue coins for you to collect. There are also some gold coins to collect and some platforms, but it didn't mention what those platforms or gold coins do, if anything, so I'm not sure it's going to be enough. There are also restaurants scattered throughout the world that will give you food items to unlock new character outfits, which I actually think is really fun. I love being able to collect things like this, though I think it might have been more interesting if completing different challenges or collecting a certain amount of coins unlocked outfits instead. As always, the character and kart roster are stacked. It looks like there are about 40 playable characters here. You'll find returning racers, tons of vehicle combinations, and a whole set of new items. Highlights include the coin shell, which tosses a stream of coins ahead of you, the ice flower, which can freeze other players, the hammer, my personal favorite, tosses out in front of you and remains on the road for a little bit to block other vehicles. The game includes auto controls and motion controls for accessibility, and you'll be able to play with up to 4 players in split screen as usual, and up to 8 players with local wireless, with up to 2 players per console. When you join a world together, you will be able to see where on the map your friends are, and each race can have a full roster of 24 players. Personally, I don't know 24 people, so I won't be racing with friends, but this is more for those online people, I'm assuming, that want to race against a big, large group. You know, or people that have 24 friends unlike me. Oh yeah, you'll probably also have NPCs if you're racing solo. They've also included updated classic courses, lots of modern polish in the animation and visuals. I personally count 29 courses scattered through this map here, but I'm not certain that it's actually showing all of them. They did mention that if we do conquer all of the Grand Prix, we will also unlock a colorful bonus level, which I'm assuming is Rainbow Road.
Rumor has it that a certain colorful course will appear.
Accessories wise, there is some functionality with the Switch camera to show your friends' faces attached to their characters. And they do have the motion control steering wheel, which is cool. I might actually have to get this one for my son because while I've never been a huge fan of racing games, when I did a sponsored video with Nintendo about Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, the thing that really caught on to me and caught my heart is how much fun these games are to play with my son, and he would absolutely love being able to steer that car himself. Before we talk about the price and what this game is actually worth, I want to bring you guys into my world. Though we absolutely love Nintendo, for years we have tried all that we can to avoid paying the $60 price point of their main title games. Let's take a look at our collection. These 3 games here Carly owned before we got married, so I don't know how much she paid for them. It was probably full price because when I married her, I ate up all of her money. This right here is the pile of games that we as a married couple have paid full price for. We are suckers for Zelda games, so we have paid full price for those ones. And then these other ones, multiplayer game for our channel, multiplayer game for our channel, multiplayer game for our channel, and Pokemon, which we are also suckers for, so we will pay full price for it. This here is our pile of Nintendo published games that we did not pay full price for. These were either gifts from people or we got them for free from Nintendo, or in the case of most of them, we paid $45 or less on Facebook Marketplace to pick them up. Those are just Nintendo published games that we bought as a married couple trying to save money on our gaming addiction. The point is, we try to avoid that $60 price point, and the painful thing here is that Mario Kart World at $80, a good price on Facebook Marketplace, is going to be 65 bucks, which we've tried to avoid for years. Now, here's the thing. I personally am not outraged by this $80 price point, but I do not think it is worth the extra $10. I think they should have stuck with the industry standard of $70. The fact that they're doing variable pricing for their games is, in my opinion, a silly choice. It breaks trust with their audience. Before, I always knew how much I was going to need to pay for a Nintendo game brand new, and I could set aside that money. But now there's nothing to prevent them from coming out tomorrow and saying that Animal Crossing is going to be $90 because of how many copies they sold last time. Watching creators like Beat-em-Ups talk about this made me realize a lot of people feel the same way. It doesn't feel like the price increase reflects the quality of the game, just the popularity of the franchise. It feels like Nintendo is punishing fans for loving their games. For example, Donkey Kong Bonanza is only $70, and I'm going to pick that one over Mario Kart every time, not because of the price, but because it looks like such a better and more enjoyable game to me personally. But Donkey Kong is a less popular character, so it's cheaper, but that might also mean that when Pokemon comes out, I'm going to be paying $90 for Pokemon, and I would do it because I love those games, just like a lot of you may think that Mario Kart is worth the $80. It's not to me, but it might be to you if you are a fan of the game. Just to clarify here, a lot of these thoughts are in my own words, but also something that I have heard other creators like Beat-em-Up say. But Nintendo did do one thing right, and I mentioned it earlier, they've got me excited about the game. A fan of Nintendo that has never really cared for racing games or Mario Kart. I'm interested. I want to play this solo. I want to play this with my friends. And before, it was like I would play this with my family if we were looking for a family game to play one time here and there. I think that the games are fantastic. It just was never something that pulled me in. And this time they've pulled me in. But again, like I said, I'm much rather to pick up Donkey Kong Bonanza than Mario Kart 8 and save that extra $10, because while I'm interested in Mario Kart, I know Donkey Kong Bonanza is the type of game I will enjoy. If the game was $80 flat without the bundle option with the Nintendo Switch, I personally, as a consumer, probably wouldn't buy it right away. It looks interesting enough that I would want to wait and try to buy it on Facebook Marketplace or something, but I wouldn't want to spend that $80 cost personally. But because I do have a channel and we're committed to bringing couples and families and friends the best multiplayer games to play together, I will be picking this one up, and I'm going to go for that Nintendo Switch bundle, because despite the fact that I generally prefer to buy physical copies of games, as you saw, the $30 difference, the $30 savings is too hard to pass up. At least they did introduce the virtual game cards and the game sharing, so I can share it with members of my family and play it together without them having to spend the $80. If you're on the fence and you're okay with digital, that Nintendo Switch bundle is your best bet. Otherwise, all of the hating and backlash, I don't think it's going to cause Nintendo to lower the price of Mario Kart, but hopefully it will make them think twice about pricing their next game at $80. But before I finish the video, I want to know your thoughts. Do you think it is worth the $80? Like I said, for some people, it might be like I'm a Pokemon fan and a Zelda fan, and I will buy those games if they're $80. Mario Kart just wasn't it for me. Is it for you? And if not, what would have made this game worth $80 for you? High Surf was in my stream and just joined my Discord, which you can do now, and he mentioned that it would have been cool if you had been able to get out of your cart and do some like separate platforming, and for me, that absolutely would have sold me on the game. If there was just a little bit of extra, if there was just a little bit of Mario of the Wild in this game, where you got to do a little bit more exploring, I would have been sold. But in the meantime, check out this video where I break down all of the multiplayer features of the Nintendo Switch 2, as well as the multiplayer games we can look forward to. I love you guys. I cannot wait to see you over there. Bye-bye. Y'all are awesome.